Timms checked his mail Wednesday. He found something for Cody Timms. Cody doesn't get much mail. Cody is a cat. He died 12 years ago.
And to the people of China, I would say that they lie to you too, that their propaganda is real, and that's how they control you. And I think what the Chinese Communist Party is most fearful of is not the United States, but its own people, the people of China. The people of China are the biggest victims of their own government, and that is, the Chinese Communist Party. They oppress their own people. They censor their own people. They spend a lot of money actually surveilling everything that people do in China. So it's truly a state, run campaign against its own people. And I would like them to know about the aggressive behavior of the PRC when it comes to Hong Kong and what was the British treaty that was signed. They were basically violating that treaty and essentially invading Hong Kong under this national security law that is taking away the freedoms and democracy of Hong Kongers. They're also very aggressive with Taiwan right now, and also with India and the Tibetan lands. They persecute Uyghur Muslims. They persecute Tibetan monks. Their human rights record is abysmal. And they're also threatening in the East China Sea and South China Sea territories there. So I think the United States and the world have woken up due to COVID-19 about
河池环江毛南族自治县遭遇强降雨，受暴雨影响，10号早上环江毛南族自治县中州河上游的龙岩乡、黄种村、广荣村下游的东兴镇等地出现高水位洪水。现场的影片显示，洪水淹没街道，有一家名叫新世纪的超市整个被淹没。影片中的人喊着“人民一无所有了”，一眼望去，很多房子泡在洪水里，而且洪水冲走了不少东西。
我们隔壁公园那边很严重的，他们的房子就是还淹到1楼去了，房子倒塌，蛮多的桥都被冲垮了。街上的专卖店的这些卖电器的、卖摩托车的、卖日用品的这些东西都被冲走了。
据了解， 解，10号上午，龙岩乡龙岩社区街道发生严重内涝，部分道路被洪水淹没，许多来不及撤离的群众被洪水围困。11号上午，记者拨打当地电话都不通。
洪水嘛，蛮大的，像淹水呀。
报道说，最大降雨为汛乐乡110毫米，龙岩乡83.5毫米。龙岩乡中州河涨水速度较快，造成不同程度的受灾。当地民众质疑是上游水库泄洪造成洪灾。
这个就是上游是贵州那边去的，贵州那边下大雨，没有水库它不会涨那么快，而且一下子爆发引起了水灾，昨晚反而最严重的。
肇东直属库青冈县德胜乡荣仓粮库所在库，我拍的是那个杠1的货位5000吨。然后出现一个什么情况呢？哈，6月19日拍的一次性储备挂的那个标准是677的容重，水分13。从那个6月25号出库第一天给装了8吨，第二天装了17吨。现在属于什么情况？给你们看一下这个粮。首先跟大伙看一下啊。整粮的所有的朋友们，应该对去年的那个9斤粮水泡粮，有印象吧？稍等一下，我把这个镜头给大伙儿切换一下啊，让你们近距离的体会一下一次性储备什么粮。所有整粮的朋友们都应该了解，去年大庆、肇州那边那种水泡粮吧，就是这样的。无法通过这个视频让大姐闻到这个酸不溜叽的味儿，但是整过粮的就应该知道那是一种什么样的味道。这是16的一次性储备粮吗？看一下啊，看这个粒儿线，看这个水泡粮的粒儿线，相当神奇，特神奇。参加20公分厚的塞漏子，左手可见，给大家掏一下啊。看，刚才那个直属库的王科长说，这叫塞下物。请问你们当时入库的时候，这个塞下物是在库里过塞的吗？塞下物不是已经返到车上被拉走了吗？怎么会在你粮库出现20多公分的塞下物呢？来，这已经掏过很多次了，都被无数次的掩盖。来，请看，这个地方是属于什么情况呢？看那边的一排脚印，刚才杨已经让工人上去把这个粮整体的从上面走一圈，然后上坡的粮下来把这个粮全都盖住了。我们已经拿锹挖过了，有视频的啊，如果需要的话我可以更新给大家。来给你们看一下这个位置，请看所有粮友们，然后包括直属库肇东直属库的各位领导，国家给你们拿钱让你们存粮，你们就存这样。从6月25号第一天给我一个48的拉40多吨的玩意儿，你给我装8吨，好，可以。 第二天装17吨，我也拉了。25号来了4个车，压了3天。后来有一个车还是空放的，我也认了。一个车要100块钱，我也认了。后来强巴火的跟你们商量，你们要好处费，要50吨粮，你拉52也没说啥，你们同意了。可下一个车就给50了，整的这全网吊车，谁不来呀？这司机掉秤，这都是小事了。你说你这么霍霍我们，我们这派粮的人，这不是要整死我们吗？1000多万，花好几千块钱，都快合到2000块钱1吨了。我们拍的是这玩意儿吗？杨宇勋亲口承认说，国家就存着这玩意儿，你有能耐能咋的？国家就存着这玩意儿，这是他亲口承认的，亲口说的啊。然后包括那个直属库的王主任说的，这就是塞销物。
中共外交部前发言人耿爽日前出任中共常驻联合国副代表。有美国媒体说，一直反美的耿爽带着女儿在纽约读中学，网民因此嘲讽耿爽反美只是工作，孩子接受美国教育是生活。
Breaking news in China's coronavirus cover-up. Here with that, former Trump White House chief strategist Steve Bannon, the host of the podcast War Room Pandemic. All right, Steve, what are your sources telling you about Chinese covering up the virus?
Well, we know we're starting to have, Jesse, doctors, actually people associated with the Hong Kong lab and people associated with Wuhan, people associated with their entire biomedical and bioweapons defense industry start to defect and start to get information. There's a massive whistleblower campaign in China right now. People have to understand that Chinese people are the victims of the Chinese Communist Party. They've been the victims of the CCP virus, and they're starting to tell their story. Fox News broke an incredible story, I think it was yesterday, with Dr. Yan, who's the first of many that are going to start to come out. Some of them are already out in Europe, the United Kingdom, and other places, and you're going to start to see now the intelligence agencies, the FBI, others start to put this together of what the real source of this virus was, how culpable the Chinese Communist Party is about this virus, particularly what they visited on their people and what they visited on the people of the United States. The Chinese Communist Party lied. 130,000 Americans died. We have an economic inferno in our country, an economic inferno around the world. We've blown up the balance sheets of the Federal Reserve, everybody else, to try to bridge this in a smart way. That is all the responsibility of the Chinese Communist Party. They have to be held accountable. And I think you're going to see a lot more Dr. Yans start to come forward. And I think she's got a lot more to say.
Oh, yeah, so the defections are going to blow the lid off this thing, and the president needs to be much more aggressive in the way he confronts the communist Chinese because they need to pay a price. Americans need to see them paying a price, and they need to feel it because that's going to unite the country around a common goal. So what did you think about my analysis about the stakes in the election in terms of the economic policy, merging that with the foreign policy, and then defining Joe Biden as the bumbling buffoon that he is?
That's the playbook right there. Look, the tell was the other day when Joe Biden, who's the senator from Wilmington, Delaware, remember, he represents all the global corporations. He's been the biggest globalist in the Senate for 40 years. He pushed WTO for the Chinese. He pushed most favored nation. He pushed NAFTA. You know, Chuck Todd said yesterday on an interview, it was kind of stunning to see Joe Biden trying to recreate himself as an economic populist and an economic nationalist. The reason is that's where the country is. Donald Trump is a populist. He's an economic nationalist. He's the first president to confront China, but there's so much more to do. Right now in Hong Kong, President Trump ought to drop the hammer. That is Czechoslovakia in 1938. President Trump ought to cut him off from the U.S. dollar. He ought to sanction Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, Bank of China, CITIC, Penang Group. He then ought to sanction individuals, Wang Qishan, and I think he ought to sanction President Xi.
Wow.
President Trump ought to throw down. President Trump ought to throw down. Look, the Chinese Communist Party, they did this because he had built a striver's economy and wasn't going to be pushed around. The Chinese Communist Party coming out of that weapons lab and hiding it. We now know, and Dr. Yan gives you a detailed analysis of how the Beijing CDC knew this back in late December, early January of 2020, late December of 2019. What she told Fox the other day is explosive. Every paper in the world's picked it up. I think you're just at the top of the first inning with her, and there are many more like her that are going to start coming forward. Remember, people in China are decent, hardworking folks. They understand the brutality of the Chinese Communist Party. They understand that they are bad guys. It's a totalitarian dictatorship. And you're going to see, Jesse, many more things coming. But I think you laid out the playbook. What I would tell the president, it's action, action, action. You're the protagonist in this drama.
Right.
Drive the action. All Joe Biden can do is try. Joe Biden's got to recreate himself in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Right. Those are your voters, Mr. President. Just drop the hammer, more executive orders on Buy American, and hire American. Remember, Joe Biden wants to give amnesty to 20 million illegals that'll flood the workforce, that'll suppress wages for African Americans and Hispanics. He also wants to have full medical benefits for illegal aliens. This will crush the budget. President Trump is both Buy American and Hire American. It is now's the time, I think, to drop the hammer on jobs, on China, on safety of the American way of life.
Completely plagiarized that out of the Donald Trump playbook. You zeroed in on something that I don't think a lot of people realize, though. So the senator from Delaware, Delaware is the state where all of the multinational corporations incorporate for tax purposes. So he's been doing their bidding for decades. And that's what this is all about. The guy is just a car, and he's being driven by powers that don't have the best interest of the American worker at heart. And Donald Trump needs to point that out day after day after day. Now, strategically, when you have Joe Biden hiding in the basement, for a while I thought maybe, you know what, he's surviving in the basement. Maybe Donald Trump needs to smoke him out. Now I'm thinking, you know what, let him stay in the basement. Let him not travel to swing states. Let him get rusty. Let him not see the country. And just have him just roll into the baits, not in fighting shape, thinking he's going to win like a boxer that doesn't train because the Vegas bookmakers have him ahead a few points. What do you think?
Look, I think that's one strategy. I also think if you want to smoke him out, it's not going to be rhetoric. You're going to smoke him out with action. Action, action, action on jobs, on EOs about jobs. The thing, Biden's line he tried to use on the president is that all you care about is the stock market and the investor class. That's the biggest chutzpah I've ever seen. It was Joe Biden and Barack Obama that in their administration we had the greatest concentration of wealth in world history from the crash of 2008 until Donald Trump took the oath of office. Donald Trump's economy, although we had a robust stock market, Donald Trump's economy was a striver's economy. Remember, it's the first time that working class people's wages were increasing more than people with college degrees.
Yeah,
that's what
Donald Trump actually decreased the income inequality that was exacerbated during the Obama-Biden years. You know, it's everything's backwards, but I think that the playbook is out there to win this thing. It just needs to be simple and strong and, you know, relentless day after day after day. Look, no tie, Bannon. I'm pulling the Bannon look. What do you think?
Jesse, he's a man of action. He's a man of action.
Right.
Jesse, all we need is action, action. Let Joe Biden try to recreate.
Thank you.
Let Biden try to recreate himself when you're the guy you are.
All right.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks, Steve.